Your shining golden signs. Let your inner sparking night. Fat and treasure, growing bright.
Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Kamen Spike back again once again. And today, people, today we are here for Kamen GAVV episode 44, and we are here with our recap episode with a little bit of lore and plot building things sprinkled in there. But a lot of this episode was a lot of recap of everything we've been throughout all of Kamen GAVV up until now this point. And the last two scenes in this episode were basically just leading up to the movie. We're basically just leading up to the movie because we get a really strange scene with them introducing, like, it felt like they were in it was like another world, kind of, sort of, where all of our main characters, but they all had like different jobs and different personas to a degree. And and then we get the scene with our main two head bad guys, our Granute bad guys, for the movie at the ending of the scene, which was just kind of jarring because it kind of came out of nowhere. But a lot of this episode was just a clip show, or just basically a recap of everything that's gone on up until now, and with a little bit of other things, especially the part where Reivew is kind of like breaking the fourth wall and talking to us, the viewers, about the multiple doors that they have, that little like pocket dimension that has all the entrances to the human world in it. And he even says that majority of the doors lead to the human world, but there are a few doors that lead to other worlds. And then we get a glimpse of a completely decimated, destroyed city, and the sky is like there's hexagons in the sky, and just a complete barren wasteland. And I think that's a movie reference. That is something that we're going to see in the movie, which I'm really looking forward to the movie. I'm gonna watch the movie. But yeah, that's basically that. But we did get a little bit of the actual episode. The kid from episode 1 that Shoma came in contact with and had to save in episode 1, he makes a return in this episode, and he looks a little bit older. I feel like he looks a little bit older. I mean, it has been a while. He looks a little bit taller, voice is a little deeper, stuff like that. But he's still a nice kid, and Shoma, he basically meets up with Shoma again, ironically, and Shoma ends up taking him back to Sachika's shop and stuff, and he basically just tells him everything. He kind of tells him that, hey, this is what I've been doing. These are my gochizos, and these are all my forms that I had. Like, we go through a whole sequence, or little montage showing off all the forms that Shoma was able to get. We don't do every form. It was just basically there was chips, chocolate, marshmallow, lollipop, but we didn't do Cake King and we did, but we didn't. He didn't recap those forms to the kid. We actually had other people reference those forms in the episode. We say that Shita, she ends up referencing the Cake King form, and also recapping of how she died and stuff like that. And Galata, she ended up recapping what happened to her and the things that she was going through, and stuff like that. So yeah, this episode was just basically that. We see Reivew is basically still doing the job and stuff like that. We see that we get an instructional video of the sort of history and the founding of Stomach Inc. We have this girl Granute, who basically talks about how the Stomach Inc. was founded. We see the grandfather, we see Dente, and we see I forgot the dad's name, but Shoma's dad, the siblings dad. We basically, and then we end up going to Longo, and we do see how their dad died, which it seems like Longo poisoned him. And just because he was mad that dad was out there messing with humans, and he basically tarnished the Stomach family name, messed up the bloodline, all that stuff. And he basically just poisoned him and basically took control of the of Stomach Inc. And we did get a fight. We didn't really get a lot of fight. Well, yeah, we did get a lot of fighting, but they were like recap fighting. But we did get one fight with after Hanto ends up leaving and visiting from he's leaving from visiting Lakia. I'm so sorry. He ends up it's really late at night, but he ends up came back from visiting Lakia. He talks to Lakia about does he know anything about the president, and Lakia basically tells him that the president is possibly just only doing all this stuff because he wants to get reelected, and he's using and which we know that he's using some of these aristocrats and things like that to bring to his side because he's trying to get reelected, and that's why he's doing so much when it comes out to human world and the human world and Stomach Inc. and things like that. He is just trying to get reelected, and he wasn't that famous with the Grenouille people because he had allegations or rumors that he assassinated his his board members, to where he's the only one that he can make all the decisions without other people trying to rebuttal any decisions he was trying to make. But if that's true, wow, that kind of hit real life right there. but yeah, so we see that Shoma ends up showing the kid everything, and then end up taking him home and stuff like that. And the episode just kind of ends with Big Brother Lungo. Well, no, it doesn't end with him, but we see Big Brother Lungo getting ready to throw out his plan and things like that. He's already peed off that Glata is killed and Sheeta was killed and stuff like that, and he's basically got defeated by Gav and basically kicked out of the company, and now he's presumed dead and things like that. And we did get a really kind of short but a really good fight between Longo and Hanto. Neela and Hanto. And this fight was actually pretty cool. I did like how Hanto was able to break his bow and arrow, but then Neela is like, you thought. And he ends up using his bow as two dual wield swords. That was actually really cool. Then we see a new part-timer has been hired, and he basically goes through his phone and looks at everything, and Hanto unknowingly ends up saving him because he doesn't know he's a Grenouille. So there's a part-timer out there and the part-timer is already having cold feet, he's having second thoughts because he watches the evaluation video that Neela has, and it goes over our three riders and talks about how powerful they are, and actually shows that how they've defeated so many other part-timers and things like that. And they basically go over a lot of things that we kind of already knew, just a refresher kind of episode. And I enjoyed it. I mean, clip show episodes, it was still sprinkled with a little bit of lore and things like that. I like those types of episodes because we're getting close to the end of GAVV, so we might as well go ahead and get this clip show recap episode out the way, so we can start getting to the real nitty gritty and get to the end. Because in the words of Mr. Stephen Strange, we're in the end game now. And yeah, and the episode ends with our two bad guy Grenouille from the movie, and and we had that otherworldly kind of scene where everything felt like it was different, and we had the new character from the movie who was basically like Shoma, but yeah, we have him in the movie, but he's working with Sachika, and also Shoma looks like he's working with Sachika too. So yeah, we're gonna see what that's about. And then the next episode is just gonna bypass the movie, so this episode happens and then the movie happens and we get right back to the series. So yeah, but the movie still doesn't really make all that much sense to me. you know, because there are characters who are dead, but they're alive in the movie. So I wonder how they're gonna work that out. But other than that, this episode was cool. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just go ahead and get the quick recap clip show on out the way, so we can get to the meat and potatoes. It seems like next episode is gonna be a doozy. Next episode is gonna be a tearjerker. Next episode is gonna be, feels like a trap. It does. But other than that, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys. And make sure you hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. As remember, as I always say, stay henshin.